I want my black people to pay attention. I want you to listen up. I want you to understand who your true allies are. This story features a law enforcement officer from Washington State who took the life of Manny Ellis in Tacoma. And this person went to trial and he was acquitted. He was acquitted of all charges. And if you don't understand what happened to Manny Ellis, see, Manny Ellis, he was essentially tortured. That's the reason why Manny Ellis is no longer with us. And a neighboring sheriff's department, Thurston County, hired Christopher Burbank as a sheriff's deputy. Man, you can look down below. They're shaking hands with this man. There's a joyous look on the faces there. I mean, you can't mistake it. So I want you to understand, Washington State is a so-called blue state. Yeah, some parts are blue, but even the so-called blue parts don't care for you, black person. I just want you to understand that, because I'm going to give some more evidence as we go along here. And so, like I said, the Thurston County Sheriff's Department, they were more than happy to hire Christopher Burbank. Christopher Burbank, his hiring was announced on the Thurston County Sheriff's Department's Facebook page. So, man, they wanted people to see it. They wanted it to be right in your face, black person. I just want you to understand that. See, back in the old days in Washington State and other so-called blue states, there were these things called sundown towns. I just want you to understand. And the idea of sundown towns, they weren't so much enforced by things that you could write down in law, you know? It's just like the system of white supremacy. It's not anything that you got to write down. I just want you to understand that. There were black coats. I get that. But you never needed it. All you needed was cooperation from the citizens who weren't black, mostly white. That's all you needed. And sometimes, black people, I just want you to understand something. Them hiring someone, that is a message. For example, if you were opening up a child care center and somebody wanted to go hire, somebody who was accused of certain crimes that involve kids, and you would say, you hiring that person sends me a message, So think of this in the same way. Them hiring Christopher Burbank is a message to black people that you ain't welcome here. See, a lot of people have this misconception that, places like Washington State, they ever needed black codes. They ever needed black laws. Oh, no. That's not what they ever needed. All they needed was to send messages. And those messages are sent through who they hire. Because not only do you have Christopher Burbank, now you have other sheriff's deputies who are going to work next to him. And are they going to be more or less emboldened by his hiring? Let me ask you that question. Oh, here's another question to ponder. What do you think they believe they can get away with now? That's the real question, right? And here's a Facebook message right here. They were more than happy to announce that. They were more than happy to tell you all about it, black people. I just want you to understand, when someone's sending you a message, when someone's telling you something, when someone's sending you a warning shot, if you will. And I also want you to understand, right, that this is the same Washington State, and it's the same Tacoma area, in that immediate little surrounding area in Pierce County, where they acquitted Ed Troyer. Sheriff Ed Troyer, he lied on a black newspaper carrier, claimed the man was going to hurt him. Turns out it was the sheriff who was harassing this man. The sheriff wasn't even on duty. The man was just delivering newspapers. The sheriff got charged with some crimes, but the same citizens from around this local area here, this Pierce County, Tacoma type of area here, they acquitted that man. I just want you to understand, those are the same people, same types of people who acquitted Christopher Burbank. I just want you to get the pattern here. That again, there's no law saying, hey, you must convict this police officer. So with that being said, do you really need black codes? If every time an officer hurts a black person, they just get acquitted, why do you need black codes? What's the point? See, we have to get out of this mindset of believing that everything's got to be written down to be enforced. To just because you are unaware of it doesn't mean it's not being enforced. I just want you to understand that. I just want you to get the type of so-called allies you have in these blue states. Okay? Because the Seattle PD, Portland PD, I mean, you look at some of the police, I mean, in California, New York, Chicago, they didn't get that brutal because of all the so-called allies that you think that you have. I'm not saying that you don't have allies. I'm just saying they're a little bit more on short supply than what many of you seem to think. All right, I see. I'm just a realist. I'm just being real with you. All right, you want me to be real with you? I'm being real with you. All right. Some people say we ain't got no allies. We have some, but they are very few. I just want you to understand that. All right. So them hiring him, that was no accident. They're sending you a message. They're telling you how they feel about you. I just want you to understand that. All right? Not everything has to be codified in law. Not everything has to be passed by the Congress, Senate, not everything has to be like that. Sometimes, it can be with the indirect move, you know. If you hire somebody who's known to do something to a particular group of people, well, you've told me a lot. You've told me exactly what might happen if I get pulled over there. You told me exactly what might happen to a black person if they happen to be walking home. You've told me exactly what happened to a new black family if they happen to be moving in. So I want you to understand, black people, what you're dealing with if you go over to Thurston County. Okay? Or also what you're dealing with as you falsely believe you have all these so-called allies. I just want you to understand that. I just want you to get that. All right?